Me just trying to have a good time. My anxiety. But are you sure this is okay? Are you sure you're doing this right? Like, the way you're standing right now seems... It seems really awkward. You should fix that. You should really fix that. What if everyone hates you? What if everyone thinks you're, like, some sort of psycho because you're standing like this? But now you're sitting weird. Like, sitting isn't better. What are you doing with your hands? What are you supposed to do? Like, why don't you sit like that other person? But then you're sitting like the other person and just like, no, wait, is it weird that I'm copying them? Listen. I think if you know the feeling, welcome. We can suffer together. Hello BabyQueers and welcome back to my channel. It is too warm right now and I was fed up with my hair. I never wear caps really, but I've been wearing it a lot this week because my hair is at this really weird length where if I do a ponytail it hurts and half of my hair is still out anyways. So cap it is because I cannot deal with hair sticking to my face right now. Cannot deal with it. So that's what we're doing. We're doing neurodivergent memes, which just seems fitting. You know, but anyways, you know the deal. Before we continue, y'all gotta get hydrated. So grab some water, or some tea, or whatever else you like to drink, and then we'll continue. Are you hydrated? Good. Let's go. I feel like we don't discuss enough neurodivergent people who get angry when they experience sensory overload. It's not always rocking back and forth or going quiet. I've ended up snapping and yelling at people who didn't even do anything wrong. I feel like it's kind of different. Like, some people go into shutdown and maybe just sit there, go completely nonverbal because they're so overwhelmed that they just cannot function anymore and they just like shut down in on themselves really. And the people that have meltdowns who tend to be more snapping or yelling at people or wanting to throw things. Because same. And fun fact, not so fun fact, is I thought because I'm way more likely to do that I can't be autistic because I don't shut down. I thought that was like the autistic thing of just like shutting down and going nonverbal and basically sitting in a corner rocking back and forth, essentially, or something along those lines. But yeah. Well, some people are more prone to meltdowns. And if I am too warm, I am so likely to snap at people because being warm and feeling sweaty and having hair sticking somewhere and just like feeling your face being sweaty and everything is sweaty and everything starts becoming sticky somehow is already making me agitated enough. And if then someone like talks to me or asks me weird question that I don't want to deal with, I am so likely to snap at these people. And I'm sorry. I try to dress in a way that helps me minimize that, you know, to kind of just like wear clothes that don't stick to me this much or, you know, are more airy to kind of help not be a complete dickhead, because even though it's not really your fault that you're melting down or that you're, you know, feeling that overwhelmed, it's still not the coolest move to then snap at everyone. So, you know, don't you get bored being alone? Me, what you call boring, I call peaceful. Yeah, this is the thing that has led to me just lying about what I do. Or just like lying when someone asks me what my plans are. Just like, oh, I don't have anything planned yet. When what I have planned is a weekend of just catching up on a show I really love. Just, you know, chilling on the couch. Because I'm so bored out, I literally don't want to move from the couch. Or watching fun YouTube videos of my favorite K-pop group because it cheers me up or something like that, you know? And that's what I've planned, and that's the only plan that matters because it helps me recharge again. But people will call that boring. Be like, wait, don't you want to like go out and do something fun? It's like, this is what's fun to me. And yes, it is peaceful. Because if I have to go out and deal with people, we're gonna have a problem, you know? So call it boring if you want. Because what matters is that it's good for me. You know? You don't have to find it interesting, you can do something else. But to be fair, I struggle being that honest with other people. Vincent van Gogh. I don't know if I'm extremely sensitive or if life is unbearable. I kind of want to say both. Probably both. Because, yes, if you're more sensitive, Which, fun fact about highly sensitive people, that's just a term someone made up because they didn't want to admit that their child is autistic. Because it's literally just that in other labels. So yeah, you might just be really sensitive because your brain functions different than other people's. But that doesn't necessarily mean that life isn't already difficult or unbearable. Because to be fair, neurotypical people struggle too. And have a hard time because, well, late stage capitalism isn't too fun for anyone really. You know, I got 2 dogs in me. Let people misunderstand you. Overexplain yourself. Why am I this person? Because on one hand, I want to be like, what do you care? Like, this is what I'm doing. It makes sense to me. Frick off if you don't, like, if you think it's weird or something. Like, that's on you. That's not my problem. And just wanting to over-explain because, well, if you're like me, you've had too many instances where people were just like, either just like rude or dismissive because they're like, no, that's weird, that doesn't make sense. And then you want to over-explain yourself, but at the same time, you just want to be like, no, but this works for me. Like, what does it matter if it makes sense to you? Because it literally does not matter. Like, if it makes sense for you and if you know you're doing something that helps you. Like, same with like giving yourself things to help you not get overwhelmed, like wearing sunglasses a lot or wearing headphones a lot. People think it's weird and that you're being like antisocial, but honestly, it shouldn't matter, right? Like if you know that's the only way really you can like go to the mall or go grocery shopping or whatever, then why wouldn't you do it? Your body temperature rises when you're experiencing stress. People have social anxiety at parties. Well, the good news is, if it's the colder season, people are actually gonna like that and want to be next to you, which is gonna in turn make you more stressed because of your social anxiety, so you're just gonna be used as a heater for the entire party. That's good news for everyone, not for you, really, because you're just stressed. But is this why I'm constantly too warm? Because I constantly stress over a million little things that is, like, it seems to me like no one else thinks about anything really. Like no one else thinks about things and worries about things, and I'm constantly over here stressing about everything. And that's why is that why I'm constantly too warm? It would kind of explain a lot. It would kind of explain a lot. Maybe I just don't know how to regulate my own body temperature. I guess we'll never know. Having anxiety is so stupid. Like, what do you mean I'm scared of hanging out with my friends? Yeah, that's like the silliest thing. Is people being like, oh no, you just have to push yourself out of my comfort zone. Bro, this is literally supposed to be my comfort zone. I like these people. They like me. So why am I still stressing about whether or not they like me back? You know, because you know, but your anxiety is still like, but what if? What if they don't like you? And it's so stupid. And it's so annoying and frustrating to deal with. And it doesn't get easier when other people have weird assumptions about it and make weird comments about it. You know? Never in my life have I wanted to steal a sign more than I do right now. No, people. I want this as like a temporary sign. Like I wish I had like a big ass button that I could just like slap on my cat or my forehead. You know? I wish I would have this as a sticker or on my shirt. It literally doesn't matter. Just big enough so people can see it. Like, best case scenario, I would have like a second one for my back. You know, so people know from all directions that they shouldn't talk to me. Especially at work. And the stupid thing is, like this morning, I got to work. I was already like, as soon as I got there, I was pissed. I saw someone there that I didn't want to see there. I was hoping they're in home office today, but they weren't. Anyways, I got there. I was like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna put my headphones in and like focus on my work. Bro stands up and starts talking to me. Sees I have headphones in. And just keeps talking. And hopes I take them out. And I did. Which I shouldn't have, but I did. Because I'm like, oh, I'm being rude. Who cares? I've been ignoring his calls all week. It shouldn't feel that rude to just keep ignoring him in real life too, but it kind of felt ruder than just ignoring his calls, you know? Anyways, never in my life have I wanted a sign this much. Okay, person waking up. Stretching. oh, what a beautiful day to stay inside and do what I love most. Maybe at least like open your windows to let in some fresh air and maybe like some sunshine. Because we're overcomplicated houseplants. Sunshine is actually good for us. Do I go on like walks enough or something to get sunlight? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I am just blessed with a skin tone that tans fairly easy, so I don't look like I spend all of my time inside, but I kind of do. You know, I just need like an afternoon in the sun of actually spending some time outside to look like I've been on vacation, which is kind of practical really, even with sunscreen. Neurotypical people, neurodiverse people, people who hate pasta. That seems really weird. Like, I don't want to be the judgy person because I know what it's like to be judged for your food preferences, so I'm not over here being like, no, but that's just wrong. Do I think it's weird when people say they don't like pizza or pasta? Yes. Absolutely. But at the same time, I'm not too judgy about it because I kind of get it. Like, you just have that preference. You didn't like wake up one day and decided, well, everyone likes pizza, so I'm just gonna hate it for no reason. Just to be a menace. You didn't decide that. That's just your preference. So I'm not being rude, but it still catches me off guard when people say things like this. Yeah, I've also had my boss tell me she doesn't like cinnamon or iced coffee, which also just seems atrocious to me because I love cinnamon and I love iced coffee. So it seems really weird to me, you know? But I wouldn't react quite like this. So, can we do the thing after we take a break? Let's start with a break and then go from there. But you promise to do the thing right after? I do not. Whatever, I guess. I just really want to take a break. I'm just gonna hope for the best. You did not, in fact, start the thing after the break. You may have even forgotten about the thing after your break, and have only remembered like 3 weeks later when it's like really urgent that you do the thing. You know? Yeah. Maybe that's just me, but I have a feeling if you're here watching this video, it is literally not just me. And you can't tell me otherwise. You really can't. Oh, I can't focus. Just pay attention. This is a very good visual example of these kind of tips. Have you tried using a planner? You just need to focus a little bit. If you say you can't do a thing, I know some people say, oh, I can't do it because they just really don't want to in that moment, because they're just like feeling lazy and don't want to, or because they just don't want to, they just want to do it later, they just want to do something else right now. But as a neurodivergent person, when you say you can't focus, or I can't do this thing, it's not because you need to be pushed harder to do the thing, or you need to push yourself harder to do the thing, it's because you can't. But people have a hard time accepting that, and then they're literally just trying to be helpful, most of the time at least, like they're trying to be nice and helpful and like give you tips, without realizing that this is what it looks like when they're giving you the tips of, oh yeah, you just need to like sit down and focus a bit. I literally just told you I cannot. And it's infuriating, even though they mean well, but it's still so infuriating that they don't seem to get it. I love saying absolutely not, because just saying no isn't dramatic enough for me. This seems like kind of a coping mechanism, because people don't take a lot of the things we say serious, right? Like, they keep dismissing things because they think we're overstating something. They think we're exaggerating how painful or how frustrating someone is to us. They keep thinking like we're just like saying it, oh my god, it makes me want to die, because it's just like slightly annoying to us. That's what they think. They don't realize certain things actually just like make us want to crawl out of their skin, and we would literally rather die than keep experiencing the thing. They think we're overstating it. So honestly, it kind of makes a little bit of sense to start overstating things in the hopes that people take you more serious. You know? Because yes, it does feel more dramatic, and maybe you just love the adrenaline rush of liking more dramatic. because maybe you just have ADHD and you just love the drama, or maybe you just learned that people don't take you serious and trying to overcompensate for that, which I can't come for because I think I do the same thing. I don't always have the time to fold laundry, but when I do, I still don't. Because I go, oh yeah, I'm gonna fold the laundry after work. I'm just gonna go sit down and watch this one YouTube video. And then suddenly it's 3 hours later and your partner's coming home and you still haven't folded the laundry or moved from your chair. You know, or sometimes I do. Sometimes I manage to like put on my headphones and blast the music into my ears before I can convince myself that it's okay to take a small break. That it's okay if I just sit down quickly to do something. It's fine, right? But we know it's absolutely not fine. We know that it's probably a trap, that we're probably just gonna end up sitting there. And even if we like get up to do something else, it's not gonna be doing the laundry. We know that, but we still take that gamble. Or at least I do. By the time someone says something in the meeting worth writing down, I've likely already taken my pen apart and lost the spring. Literally, I cannot count, not actually in meetings, but back in school, I cannot count the amount of times I have lost the spring of pens because I also just like took it apart in class and then it fell off the desk and it just rolled somewhere. And I couldn't just like get up in class and start looking for it, and then someone got up, or like everyone got up to break, and then it was completely lost. You know, but if you get up in class, you're gonna get into trouble, so you don't. So you just sit there and like kind of hope you find it by peering under the table when the teacher turns their back. But in a meeting, when you don't take apart the pen, you're probably already zoomed out enough by the time someone actually says something important. You know, I used to think that's normal. I used to think it's just because I don't care about my job enough. Or something like that. You know, I used to push it on that and just like, oh yeah, no, I just, like, if I cared enough, I could focus, right? And the truth is, like, if I actually cared enough, I could, like, if my brain finds it interesting enough, but... Well, at my old job, absolutely no way. Especially because my old boss had this tendency of thinking out loud, and then he kept repeating the same things, and he said them like 20 times, and by the time he actually got to a point, and actually made a final decision on something, he already said 10 things of, okay, we're gonna do it like this. But then kept on talking and kept on thinking. I was like, no, but actually, no. We gotta do this. And if you've written something down, chances are he's just gonna be like, no, but that's not what I meant. You just misunderstood me. And it was so frustrating, and it made me want to pay attention even less. The ADHD leaving my body when someone tells me to try harder. Again, the boat of just like trying to be helpful, or actually just trying to be condescending. Like just being like, oh, try better. Just focus harder. Doesn't seem like trying to be helpful, seems like just absolutely condescending. I've just been like, oh, I can do it, why can't you? Like, that's just an excuse. You know, that's the vibes. And that's kind of what they're expecting, is like the ADHD to literally just be an excuse of just like, oh, well, now that you say it, of course I'm just gonna like sit down and be able to focus. Like, that's what these people are expecting, but I really don't see how that would work. Me, when I forget what I wanted to search. Standing there like a freaking Zim who had their action cancelled. Constantly. Because you forgot where you were going. You forgot why you walked into the kitchen. You forgot why you walked into the bedroom holding a banana. You just like find yourself in random places with random things in your hand, and you're just like, why? Just why? I wish I could like have like on like in a browser, like a browser history. I wish I could just like open it and see my last thoughts and be like, oh yeah, no, it makes sense now, and go back to doing the thing I meant to do, but unfortunately we cannot. ADHD, unmedicated versus medicated. Doing the thing. Hello, YouTube. Today we're deep cleaning my entire house. Well, I sometimes think about vlogging because it sounds really interesting in my head, because I kind of act like I'm vlogging, even while working or something. because it keeps my brain more engaged, even if I'm not medicated, to just like pretend like I'm like talking to someone or talking to a camera. Stupidly enough, it kind of helps. I can only do that in home office though, because people would think I'm crazy and call like someone on me. I don't even know if like sit there and talk. So I try to do it just in my head, but I'm very aware I probably mouth things even when I'm in the office, like talking to myself or talking to the imaginary camera. Well, anyways, a Venn diagram of my life. Things I like to do, things I'm good at, things that make money, the things I do. Somehow managing to squeeze anywhere but this. And this just feels true. This just why is this so true? I really wish it wasn't. Like, I really wish it wasn't. How to make a threat to a neurodivergent person. Shut your ass up before I turn on the ceiling light. And it would work. It would literally work. Even during the day when it's technically bright in the room, it would still help to make this threat, probably. Technically. Is it actually gonna work? Are we actually gonna like believe you and think you're gonna follow through on the threat? Maybe, maybe not. If you follow through on it once, your like credibility is gonna rise a lot though. Things I'm super good at. Forgetting someone's name 10 seconds after they tell me. Buying produce and then throwing it away 2 weeks later. Digging through the trash for the food box I just tossed because I already forgot the directions. Making plans and then immediately regretting making plans. Leaving laundry in the dryer until it wrinkles, then turning on the dryer again to de-wrinkle, then forgetting it again. Calculating how much sleep I'll get if I can just fall asleep right now. Well, we're all good at some things, right? But this is kind of what it feels like. If someone's like, well, no, we all have different talents. Like, we're all good at different things. I'm sure you have something you're good at. The obvious things that come to mind first that we are actually good at are things like these. I'm very good at letting my food rot in my fridge. At forgetting something because I bought it and I was really feeling like eating that thing, but then I forgot about it because I had to put it in the fridge, and then I didn't see it again until it was moldy and probably made my fridge smell bad. You know, like that. Those are the obvious things that probably come to your mind first when someone asks what you're good at. That doesn't actually mean we're not good at other things too, you know? You just maybe have to figure it out, or like take more time to figure it out, or ask your friends what you're good at, because they're not going to be as rude to you as you are to yourself, you know? My unfinished crafts, watch me start new crafts, like... Really? You're trying this thing again of trying a new craft? You really think it's gonna be different this time? Really? Really? You could just finish me, you know? You don't have to start something new, but you have to. The dopamine said we had to. I'm sorry. It's not you, it's me. And this time, not even in an excuse way. It was literally not the craft's fault we abandoned it, okay? Autistics with musical training, harmonizing with the AC tone that no one else can hear. I'm not that musically trained. Like, I had singing lessons for a while as a teenager, but I'm not that musically trained, but I've always done this. Like, even as a child, I did this. Of like the electricity or the vacuum cleaner, because it was really annoying to me, but if I hummed along in the same tone, it was less annoying to me because that it was like vibrating in me and it was kind of fine. And I'm not sure that makes sense to anyone else, but I feel like, once again, if you're here watching this video, it might actually make sense to you. Because whoever I've mentioned it to before, they just looked at me like I was crazy. You know, but yeah, like, why wouldn't you do this? I still do this, and I don't even necessarily notice I do it. Like, I have a dehumidifier in my bathroom and have the doors open when I'm in home office, because I'm home alone anyway, so it doesn't matter. And I sometimes don't even notice that I'm humming along to that until I notice that I'm really thirsty, because, yeah, I get really thirsty whenever I talk or sing or hum, apparently. Which also seems weird. Like, that's the thing. How can people talk a lot without being thirsty? How does that work? Because I immediately feel it. Well, anyways, autism in real life. Do I talk now? Wait, how about now? No. Maybe now? Wait, the other one isn't done talking. But on a constant loop, and then you have these people that make these really weird pauses. That seem like they're done talking, and are like waiting for you to say something, but then they just keep talking. Right when you're starting to say something. But then they just keep talking. Like they either don't notice that you're also starting to talk, or they just don't care that you were trying to say something and just keep talking. But the thing that probably makes me mad more than this, because this is just like annoying and frustrating, but what pisses me off more is the thing when people are like, what do you think I should do? Like, I think I'm gonna do this thing. And they're just like, well, actually, I would do it like differently. Because they asked for your opinion, right? It's just like, well, I would do it like a little bit differently than what you thought. Yeah, no, but I think I'm gonna, and then they just like repeat what they're gonna do anyways. Why did you ask? You're just wasting my time and pissing me off. What are you doing? Am I aiming this at a very specific coworker whose calls I've been ignoring all week? Yes. But you don't know him, so it's fine. I can't hear you because I'm too cold. Me with sensory issues, sorry I can't concentrate on what you're saying because my sock is on wrong. And also, like, the worst thing when you're driving and you feel your sock in your shoe and you want to fix it so badly, but you're driving. You know it's probably not the safest idea to, like, take your shoe off and fix your sock, but you're kind of trying to. Or you stop at a stoplight and try to do it quickly, but then the light turns green again. For legal reasons, I have never fixed my sock while driving. But the amount of times I have wanted to do this and just like not been able to focus on anything because my shirt tag was scratchy. Like, I have this one coworker at work who had to cut at least like 3 or 4 tags out of my shirts at different times because I got new clothes and put them in the wash, forgetting to cut the tags out somehow, or someone else cut the tags out, or like cut the stuff off but forgot to cut the tags out, and then threw it in the wash, and then I put it on because I didn't check because I was just tired in the morning. And then I get to work and I'm just like, oh shh. And it's been bothering me the entire car right there. I'm just like, okay, please cut this out. But she doesn't even care because she's the same way. That's the good thing, actually. Why are the fruits touching? They must never touch, especially if they're different textures. Like, if it's the same texture, it might be fine. Like, if you have 2 vegetables that have sort of the same texture, then it's kind of okay for me. I know some people still don't like it. For me personally, it would kind of be okay. But I don't get how people can eat, like, pasta with a piece of meat or something together. That's weird. And also I have a really, really weird relationships to sauces in general, which people don't get. People don't get why I take apart my lasagna and eat it layer by layer rather than just like eating the whole thing like a neurotypical person. And then they look at me really weird. Which makes eating in restaurants a little bit tricky because I always have to consider what to get if I have to take it apart or not, because depending on how full it is, and if I want to deal with other people looking at me weirdly, I'm gonna choose something else maybe, you know? Yeah. Autism in movie. He perfectly understood the Pentagon computer. Within seconds, he found the perfect code to intercept the Russians' hacking of the mainframe. Autism in real life. Why can't anyone else hear the ringing from the air conditioning? This is kind of what it... Like, autistic people in movies or series or anything are one of 2 things. Super geniuses, who are just so skilled in this, like, one specific area, but probably have absolutely, like, no social skills, and are just constantly still incredibly rude to everyone. Or just the very, very high support need autistic that's just constantly having meltdowns or shutdowns. And that's like the only 2 things of like officially autistic characters you see. Because then there are characters that are kind of just canonically that we have just adopted, because we're like, yes, you're just autistic. Officially, you're not. Officially, no one ever talked about it, but you are. Which ends up being the way more relatable to the autistic experience type of character. Because, yeah, autistic people can be really good at different things, same as neurotypicals, obviously. But this really skewed presentation of either super genius or just completely high support needs will never do anything, basically. It's weird. And both seem kind of limiting, really. Because, yeah, obviously, like if you only show one aspect or two different aspects, how's anyone actually gonna know what autism looks like? And then they're gonna go around being like, no, but you don't seem autistic because you're not a super genius who can hack into any computer or whatever. You know, yeah. So anyways, that was all the memes I have for today. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope you feel called out, because I always do. Which is kind of why I like doing this, to call myself out. To be able to talk about the experience that if you talk about them in normal life with like random people or coworkers, that is all gonna look at you and think like you're completely insane because they can't hear the AC or they can't, you know. That's kind of why I do this. It's kind of therapeutic, really, to know other people are kind of experiencing the same things that other people have probably made you feel crazy for. To just know that, oh, maybe I'm not going insane, maybe I'm just autistic, or maybe I just have ADHD or anxiety or whatever. You know, I feel like it could be very therapeutic. Anyways, I hope you're hydrated too, because once again, I talked now, I'm thirsty, so I have to go finish my iced coffee. And I'll be back in a few days with my next video.